Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we all know the era of the Rebbe, that in 3 weeks we should learn Hilchos Beis HaBchira to bring all this that we learned, that it come to my Pale. Should be all zeiche that before we start the first year this year, in Hilchos Beis HaBchira, we should see the Binyan Beis HaMikdash taken from Yad. We have the honor today to have a Choshever in German, on the Minari for the Yeshiva Tzemchet Mimim, Yeshiva Gdeilo, Rav Shmuel Kramer. We'll ask Rav Shmuel Kramer to please give us some insight into the building of the Beis HaMikdash in Hilchos Beis HaBchira. Rav Kramer, b'vakasha.
Thank you very much, Rav Shmuel, for organizing the limud in Hilchos Beis HaBchira and Hilchos Beis HaMikdash and how to build the Beis HaMikdash. It's very timely, and I'm going to explain why. So, this is a little bit of an introduction. Sedoa Tanchume, a Medrash Tanchume, that says that when the Eibishter told Yecheskel, he said, Hagid, Ba'ato ben Odom, Hagid is Beis Yisrael, as Abayis. The Eibishter told Yecheskel, he should tell the Yidden about the measurements of the house. Then they'll feel bad from their sins, because they didn't have the Beis HaMikdash then. It was Bechurban Modadu as Tochnis. And they'll measure, they'll have the measurements by them of the building. So Yecheskel Anovi told the Eibishter, he said he doesn't understand what's the use of telling the Yidden the measurements of the Beis HaMikdash when they're anyway right now in Golus under Goyim, under the jurisdiction of Goyim, and they cannot build the Beis HaMikdash. So what's the use of telling them now the measurements of the Beis HaMikdash? Better wait till they'll go out of the Golus and they'll be back in Eretz Yisrael, and then I'll give them all the measurements and they'll build the Beis HaMikdash. So the Eibishter said to Yecheskel, because my children are in Golus, the binyan of my house, the building of my house should be idle, should be bottled. No, they should learn about the binyan Beis HaMikdash, and that's going to be as if they built the Beis HaMikdash. So l'chore, the learning about the Beis HaMikdash, the learning about the size and everything about the Beis HaMikdash, about the construction of the Beis HaMikdash and the measurements of the Beis HaMikdash, l'chore, and the learning of it and the actual building is two different things. One thing is learning and one thing is building. So you can have the learning, but probably not building. So the answer is that since the Torah says that it's ki'ilu, you build the Beis HaMikdash, then the is you're building by learning the Hilchos Beis HaBchira, you are actually building the Beis HaMikdash. Why is it ki'ilu? Because l'poil, you don't see it right away. You're doing the building, you're building the Beis HaMikdash, but the actual, when you want to see the building, that's going to be very later when Mashiach comes, maybe in 5 minutes, maybe in 2 minutes, hopefully tonight, that we'll be able to see our building. It's like when a person does a mitzvah, every time a person does a mitzvah, for example, he brings down a likus, godliness into the world, but you don't see it. When you put on film, before you put on film and after you put on film, the world looks the same, because we cannot see the difference of the Gili Alikus that happens with every mitzvah. But there actually is, and the same thing is with the building of Beis HaMikdash. Every time we learn about the Surah Sabayis, we are actually building the Beis HaMikdash. And the reason why it says Ki'ilu, we built the Beis HaMikdash, not that we're mamish building the Beis HaMikdash, is because the poil, we do not see the building that we are currently building through the learning. We're only going to see it later. That is the union of Kol Oisik B'Teiros Chatos, Kilu Hikriv Chatos, and Kol Oisik B'Teiros Oshom, Kilu Hikriv Oshom. It's not only that you accomplish the same thing. You accomplish by bringing a Chatos, and by learning a Chatos, you accomplish the same thing. It's not only the accomplishment, but it's mamish, like you brought a korban chatos. And that's why we find la'aloch l'maisa in a gayet, the parshas korbanos, that you should, the Alter Rebbe says, you should only say it by day, because by learning it, it's like you're bringing the korban, and since you don't bring korban by night, therefore you shouldn't even be saying it at night. And al derech zeh is also by the building of the Beis Hamikdash. The Eibishter says that because the Yidden are in Golus, the building of my house should be bottled, should be idle. No. So by learning the Tzuras Habayis, the building is actually taking place. And Shloimer, that there's a mitzvah in the Torah, it says, V'osel imigdosh v'shachanti b'soichom. That wasn't only for the Mishkan that was in the Midbar. That's a tzivui l'doiris that we have to build. A Beis Hamikdash. But because we cannot build it for whatever reason, because of either we're not balabatim of the place, or we're not the tyrant, or because we're betume in Golus, but still we have the mitzvah. And how are we becoming the mitzvah? And that is through the learning. And you could say that the Rambam is meramis this inyan of learning, that's Ki'ilu building in the Rambam. Before every Sefer, the Rambam brings a pasuk. And before the Sefer Avodah, and before Hilchos Beis Abchira, which is in Sefer Avodah, the Rambam brings the pasuk, Shalu Shloim Yerushalayim Yishloyu Avoyach. What means Shalu Shloim Yerushalayim? Shalu means you should daven and request the peace of Yerushalayim. And what means over here Yerushalayim? Yerushalayim doesn't mean the city of Yerushalayim. It means also Yerushalayim. But the Ikar of Yerushalayim, what's the Mailah and what's the Kedusha of Yerushalayim? Because the Beis Hamikdash is there. It's not because that the Beis Hamikdash is not there, so you don't have the Kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash, but you have the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. Without the Beis Hamikdash, you don't have the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. So therefore, the place where the Beis Hamikdash is Kodesh, and Yerushalayim is also Kodesh. And Shalu Shloim Yerushalayim means that you should daven. Shalu is a Lashon of Tefillah, Lashon Dibur, for Shloim Yerushalayim, for the Beis Hamikdash. How could you be Dibur? What says Dibur for the Beis Hamikdash? That is that you are learning, you're being oisik in the Hilchos Beis Hamikdash. That is how you make the Shalu Shloim Yerushalayim, which is why the Rambam brings that pasuk. And we find also that you have the Inyan of, let's say, Tshuva, the Inyan of Tshuva. If somebody Chas v'Sholom did an Avera b'Shoigig, so you had to do vidui b'dvorim, and also you had to bring a korban. But today, since you can't bring korbanos, so the vidui alone is enough. That's the shleimus of tshuva for today. And al derech zeh by ger tzedek, a man who wants to become a ger tzedek, so he needs really three things. He needs milo, he has to have a bris, and he has to have tefillah, he has to go to the mikveh, and he has to bring a korban. But today, since there's no korbanos, so therefore the shleimus of a ger is through mila and tefillah, and later he'll bring a korban later. So we see that you can have the shleimus since he can't bring the korban. So you have the shleimus even without that. And al derech zeh now we cannot build physically the Beis Hamikdash that we should see the actual building going up, but we could through learning the nyonim of Beis Abchira, that is actually building the Beis Hamikdash. And also with this, we'll also understand we'll bring clarity to another point. It's known that the Beis Hamikdash La'osid, there's different opinions how it's going to be. One opinion is that it's going to be Min HaShamayim, the Eibishter is going to build it. It's like it says, Mikdash, Adnei Keinu Yadecho, that the Eibishter is going to build the Beis Hamikdash, Shlishi, and it's going to come down far to Kerhei. And another opinion is, and the Rambam also brings it down, that the binyan is going to be through a person. It's going to be that Mashiach is going to build the Beis Hamikdash. So one of the ways that you can be metavach, that you can reconcile the two opinions, is in a number of ways. One thing is that the people, when Mashiach comes, Mashiach will build whatever he understands, whatever is clear in Yecheskel, or whatever is clear how to do. So he's going to build, and whatever is not clear, so then the Eibishter is going to clarify it by sending down that piece of the Beis Hamikdash that's not clear. So we'll have clarity. Or another way is that the Beis Hamikdash will be built lamata by a person, but it's also going to come down l'maylo. L'maylo it will come down, and the two Batei Hamikdash, the one that the people built lamata and the one that the Eibishter has ready l'maylo, are going to come together. Al bedugme like the Eisha l'maylo, that there was the mitzvah was you had to bring on the mizbeach, you had to bring a fire, you had to light a fire, even though the fire came l'maylo. So the two fires combined together, the fire l'maylo and the fire l'mato. Al derech zeh with the Beis Hamikdash, that you have the Beis Hamikdash that the people are going to build, that we are building right now, that we are Isaac right now in building, which is the building the Yodom, and then you'll have the Beis Hamikdash that's going to come down in Hashemayim, and the two Batei Hamikdash will be together. It will be one Beis Hamikdash, and because the Eibishter, because the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi is going to be not only from the person, it's also going to be from the Eibishter, and that's why it's going to be Beis Hamikdash Hanitzchi. So from the whole thing comes out that it's how important it is for everybody to learn the Hilchos Beis Abchira, because through this we're mamish building the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. And now the reason why so this could be even a whole year we can learn Hilchos Beis Abchira. But it's especially important now in the 3 weeks when it's the time when the Churban Bayis Rishon and the Churban Bayis Sheni, this is the time of the year that when the Churbanos took place. So therefore we have a special gaguim, and we have a special want to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. So now is the time that we should learn it. So I see I'm running a little bit out of time. So I just want to tell everybody that I want to encourage everybody should tune in. The next year is going to be already about the Beis Hamikdash itself, details about the Beis Hamikdash. So I want everybody should tune in to the times that you have to. Rabbi Zalmanov is going to send out a notice exactly what time it's going to be every single day. And through that will be Zeiche to the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi im Heiro b'Yameinu tonight mamish, now together with the Rebbe. We can't hear you. Shmuel, we can't hear you.
Okay. Shkech Rav Kreimer. We know that the Rebbe's hero is also that everybody